Okay, our class is complete. We want to welcome you here to our 2019 Eastern States Exposition Sheep Show. This is what we refer to our all of the breeds meet. We have several different breeds of sheep out here that none of which have quite enough numbers to have their own breed competition, so we do place them in one class by themselves. While our judge is working these different breeds here, he'll be taking into consideration here the different breed standards of each one of the different breeds they're represented by. So serving as our judge here the first half of our Big E Sheep Shows is Mr. Dale Davis of Cardington, Ohio. Dale's got a nationally recognized Southdown flock, plus has been around the sheep business all of his life. Let's give Dale a nice New England welcome here to our show today. Dale Davis. He'll be having these animals walk around the ring here. We do have this being videoed live on YouTube, or go to YouTube and then go to the Big E Sheep Show, and you'll be able to follow it. Or if you want to let your family back home know that you're in class now, it's on YouTube at Big E Sheep Show. We do have some standing traditions here at the Eastern States Exposition. After we have placed our first 5 animals, he'll watch these walk around the ring, and then he'll have them pointed to the right here so that those on the bleachers will have an opportunity to see the class a little more thoroughly. Then we weigh the top 3 animals in each one of these single classes. We'll be getting weights on them, and then we're going to share that information with you back here at the off the announcer's table. If you'd like to follow the show this morning, we have books over here. They've got a yellow jacket on them. They're free of charge over here, and it'll tell you the different animals and exhibitors here in the show.
Good morning. It's certainly a privilege and an honor to be invited here to judge your Eastern States sheep show up here. We're going to start off the big old yearling buck. He's really long down his top. He's really thick, deep. Really like the way this sheep moves about the ring. Come in there in second hole here. A bucket falls right in there. He's really thick. Maybe gives up a little of that overall length. That's a spine is the sheep that wins the class, but a really nice boned buck here. We come down into 3 and 4 here. 2 really nice bucks. The buck here in the third hole, he would, if I could change him in his dental work a little bit, he would win the class really easy. Buck here in second, big old stout made sheep. I'd like to change him there in his dental work a little bit. We could probably get him moved on up in class. We round the class out with a buck that's just doesn't quite have that thickness, which he's running a little bit of advantage. These black bellies usually aren't known for the the muscling and the thickness as some of the breeds are showing against, but a really nice class of yearling bucks. Give these all a round of applause. They exit the ring, please.
Our class is complete. Here are the placings in our Yearling Ram Class 2301. First place honors went to Stacy Webster of Wyndham, Maine on 1713, entry 1713. The winning ram weighed 214 pounds. Our second place honors also went to Stacy Webster on a March yearling. He weighed 239. In third place was Brett Kessler of LaPorte, Indiana on Clay Hill Ranch 1844. He weighed 251. Fourth place honors were won by Stacy Webster, and fifth place went to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts.
Now they're really nice class of buck lambs to sort here. There's when you put all these different breeds in here, you kind of got to figure out the breed standards and kind of go from there. The buck we're starting off with, really super long-sided, deep-sided. Handles really nice from his hooks back to his pins, comes into his hip really flat and nice. Here, the little Texel buck. I really like the way this sheep handles down his top. He's maybe getting for you stand behind him and he's maybe a little thicker in the front end than he is in the hind end, but a really nice put together buck. Got a good set of feet and legs on him, and moves around the ring really free and easy. We round the class out with a couple buck lambs that's done well. They're giving up some of that overall muscle and sorry about that. To get them moved up any higher, but a really nice class of buck lambs. Give these guys a nice round of applause. They exit the ring.
we're working with these exhibitors that come from the far ends of the barn. All these animals come from quite a distance here throughout the barn, so we are giving them time. If you do want to hold them in the aisle out here before you check in, we do ask you to go down the center aisle there towards the coffee pot. We do have been asked to keep our main aisle open here for the exhibitors here at the Eastern State. So we do ask you to just bring your sheep over here out of the main aisle and take them down the center line if you wish to hold them between the classes. Here are the results on our senior ram lamb class. First place honors went to Smith Sheep Farm of Windsor, Illinois, on a Monadale. On Smith 1904, he weighed 212 pounds. Our second place ram in the class was Pine Knob Farm Banjo. He weighed 151 pounds. And that was exhibited by Rachel Gately. Third place honors went to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts. On Craffey's 438, he weighed 54, and that was a Barbados ram. Likewise, fourth place also to the Craffeys on a son of Vincent. you exhibitors with monodales. We do have a special award today that will be given. It's for the best headed monodale, and that selection will best headed monodale ewe, and that selection will be right after we have finished our champion judging. Ewe or ram, best headed monodale, period, and that's sponsored by the Leslie Merritt family.
Now they're real interesting set of bucks to sort here. We're starting off the buck. He's really deep. He's really wide. Got a good set of feet and legs under him for the AG sheep. He's got a tremendous amount of meat and muscling down his top line. Come back into a big old pretty profiling monodale buck there. Up front, he's probably just maybe giving up a little the thickness down his top line that is the buck that wins the class. He's really a super stylish kind of a sheep. Come back here in third hole, big old deep-sided buck. He just shortens up a little bit from flank to flank as the buck ahead of him. If I change him, maybe coming off out of his hip structure there a little bit. I think we could maybe get him moved on up in class too. Here in the 4 hole, we got a sheep, but I really like the way this sheep's put together. I'd like to maybe just thicken him up a little bit down his top and to get him moved on up. But he's young, and I think his sheep's got a lot of grow left in him. Then we come down here in the 5 hole. Buck just doesn't quite have that muscling down his top end, down through his lower leg as the sheep ahead of him. I like change him coming off his tail head a little bit, and we could probably get him moved on up in class. But give these guys a round of applause. They exit the ring, please.
Once again, we'll weigh these first 3 rams here in the class while you line up your entries for the pair competition. While we're organizing our pairs, we do want to announce that over at the farmers market over here just to the left side, so to speak, of where we're sitting here at the announcer's table, outside they've got a real nice venue over there. Slip over and you can taste some lamb that'll be presented here between 10 and 2 or until it runs out. Anyway, they've got some other nice New England flavors there besides lamb, and that's been sponsored, the lamb products that you'll be tasting today, by the American Lamb Board and in cooperation with the Eastern States Exposition. So today's menu is barbecue lamb ribs with spicy slaw. Go over it. Doesn't cost a nickel, and if you've never tasted lamb or if you like lamb, go over and try the new recipes or some of the cooking. There'll be demonstrations going on through September 28th every day here at the Big E. So slip over there and get yourself some nice taste of New England lamb. In our junior ram lamb class, first place honors went to Pine Knob Farm, Rachel Gately of Summers, Connecticut, on a ram lamb that weighed 151, and that was a Texel. Our second place honors went to Kuykendall Monodales of Richland Center, Wisconsin, and he weighed 175. Third place was bred by Stacy and Bill Webster of Wyndham, Maine, on a ram lamb tipping the scales at 170. Fourth place was entry 4456 from Kuykendall Monadales of Richland Center, Wisconsin. Fifth place to Stacy and Bill Webster with entry 6490. Sixth place also from the Websters on 6491. The seventh place ram in the class was Clay Hill Ranch of LaPorte, Indiana, with Clay Hill Ranch 1913. The eighth place lamb was shown by Brett Kessler on Clay Hill Ranch 1998. Ninth place to Merritt Family Monadales of Bernardston, Massachusetts, and also 10th place honors went to the Merritt family. And if you're following down in the books on the front page, that will read down 2 with a weight of 151, 3 with a weight of 170, 7, 5, 6, 1 with a weight of 151, and 4. And on the next page it was 8, 10, and 9. We'll line up our animals now for the selection of our Grand Champion Ram here in our All of the Breeds division. Our class winners will be over here to the bleacher side of the show ring. Our oldest will be to the south side, to the judge's right. This time we'll call in our contestant here for the Grand Champion Ram. Judging here of our All of the Breeds Ram, we need the first and second place yearling rams from Stacy and Bill Webster. Smith Sheep Farm of Illinois with the first place senior ram lamb. Pine Knob Farm from Connecticut with the junior ram lamb. And Kuykendall is in the lead with their runner-up. We'll get you positioned up here a little better so we can get all 3 or 6 candidates here in view of our camera. Here are the results in that pair of ram lamb class. Just finished. First place honors went to Pine Knob Farm, Rachel Gately of Connecticut. Second to Kuykendall Monadales of Wisconsin. Third place to Stacy and Bill Webster of Maine. Fourth place went to Clay Hill Ranch of Indiana. Fifth place to Merritt Family of Massachusetts. And our sixth place to Michaela Craffey, also from Massachusetts. 5 different states represented in that pair of ram lamb class. And here comes our 2 yearling rams from the Webster family of Maine. Here in our champion ram lineup here, we have our first and second place yearling rams, our North Country Cheviots, bred by Stacy and Bill Webster. Our senior ram lamb is a Monadale from Smith Sheep Farm from Illinois. And Rachel Gately with the runner-up, a Texel from Connecticut. Rachel Gately also has the first place junior ram lamb, again at Texel, out of the state of Connecticut. And Kuykendall Monadales from Wisconsin have our runner-up in our junior ram lamb class.
really nice set of bucks out here we got in the champion drive. We got 3 different breeds out here. I think all 3 of them represent their breed rather well. I think all 3 of these bucks can go back on into another flock and help improve them. They're all good-footed. They're good-legged. Really like the breed characteristics are really nice on these sheep. I'm going to go out and congratulate your grand and reserve and give these guys a nice round of applause.
Our grand champion ram goes to Rachel Gately of Pine Knob Farm. Kuykendall Monadale's from Wisconsin with the reserve grand champion ram. We'll give Nancy Miniter here a moment to get a quick picture here for the Big E Facebook page of our first champion of many that we're going to be selecting here the next 2 weeks at the Big E. Once again, Pine Knob Farm with the grand champion ram and Kuykendall Monadale's with the reserve.
Testing 1 2. Test 1 2.
Kind of like chugging a beer.
For some of you exhibitors and spectators here at this year's Eastern States Exposition, you are watching our first of many sheep shows that will go on from now until September 25th. The sheep that we have in the barn this week we refer to as meat sheep. They are primarily raised for the production of good red meat. Lamb grows quickly and converts forage into good red muscling very quickly, and these are some of the finest sheep, purebred and registered sheep we have not only in New England, but many of these sheep are from all over the United States. Today's show, we have entries as far west as Wisconsin. We have some from Indiana, plus dotted throughout the New England states. There are 4 different breeds of sheep in this class. We have Monadales, there are Texels, there are North Country Cheviots, and Barbados. If you look up here behind the announcing station and the clerking station, you can see most of the breeds have a banner up here that gives a picture or a design of what these different animals are by breed. So if you look around the barn, you can identify them. Many of them are already up here. If you are some of the FFA students that are here or will be here throughout the week and are here to identify the breeds, you'll be able to follow some of them up here on the banners.
Another really super class, nice class of females. Yearling ewes. I think we got 3 females up in here, and their own breed could run, hard at any national show. And here in the Big E, I think this has always been a really tough show. And you throw these AOBs in there, and it's trying to get them sorted out the way you like to see them at home. If I was raising them, this little sheep we're starting off with here, she's wide based. She's wide at the top. You put her in motion, and she just trots around. She floats around the ring. Her handle's really nice, really thick, deep, wide down her top. Come back into the Monadale ewe, really long-sided female, big top dinner. You put her in motion, and she's kind of gets maybe a little choppy, but she's really nice female that I'd be proud to own. Come back here in third hole, the North Country and you really got to appreciate this ewe. She's just giving up a little of that thickness down her top line is the 2 sheep ahead of her. If we could thicken her up there a little bit, we could get her slid on up in class. Come back here in the 4 hole. Now the ewe that shortens up maybe a hair bit on the side and doesn't quite have that thickness as the 3 females ahead of her, but a really nice made sheep. We round the class out here with a ewe that's really long-sided. I'd just like to change her coming out of her hip a little bit, and we could probably get her moved on up in class. But give these guys a nice round of applause as they exit the ring.
Don't forget, Monadale breeders, there will be a best-headed Monadale class right after we select our grand champion ewe here from our All of the Breeds division. That's a gift sponsored by the Merritt family, Leslie Merritt family, and we really appreciate those added awards. Here are the results on our Group 1 Yearling U class. Our first place honors went to Rachel Gately with Pine Knob Farm 1827, sired by Tank. Our winning Yearling U weighed 160 pounds. Second place went to Kuykendall Monadales of Richland Center, Wisconsin, with entry 4457, and she was sired by Miller's 543. That yearling ewe weighed 243. Third was ring number 6492 from Stacy Webster of Windham, Maine, on a ewe that weighed 174. On Clay Hill Ranch 1506, she was a daughter of the Clay Hill Ranch Ram. Our fourth place yearling ewe was from the Websters with ring 6493. Fifth place honors went to ring 5063, bred by Merritt Family Monadales of Berniston, Massachusetts. Sixth place also to the Merritts with ring 5064. Our seventh place yearling ewe and eighth place honors went to Michaela Craffey of Massachusetts on Daughters of Vincent. Following in the book, on page 1, it will read down 6, 5, 8, 7, 3 with a weight of 174, 2 with a weight at 243, 1 at 160, and the next page is 4.
another real interesting class of yearling ewes to sort here. Made it pretty fun. I think all three of these ewes here on the top end here in November will, as well as the class before, will be able to go down there and win their class. Today I'm starting with the ewe that I really like, her another sheep. When you put her in motion, she kind of floats around the ring. She's wide based, and when you got them wide based, or normally wide topped, and she's wide, she's thick, really deep sided. Really like this sheep. Come back into the Mondale ewe, falls right in there. She's thick down her top line. Maybe when you put her in motion, the ewe, I guess, that kind of jumps out at me that wins the class. When she's in motion, she just kind of floats around the ring. Come back here in third hole. You got to really appreciate this ewe for the volume she has. She is super deep. She is super wide topped, and she's got a really nice breed type. Or her head really, to me, looks like a North Country. Come back here and there in the 4 hole. Got a ewe. It's really thick, good boned, thick topped, really deep sided. Really appreciate her for that. Round the class out with a ewe that's really stylish. She just gives up some of that thickness down her top. She's maybe a little on the leaner side today as the females in the class, but she's a really cool profiling sheep. Give these guys a nice round of applause. They exit the ring, please.
As we weigh these first 3 yearling ewes, those of you with pairs can bring them into the ring at this time, please.
single entry out here, but a sheep that could stand a tremendous amount of competition. She's really thick down her top, really deep, really wide. Got a good set of feet and legs on her, moves real free and easy. Give this young lady a round of applause so that they exit the ring, please.
We just completed judging our senior ewe lamb class, and that was won by Rachel Gately of Somers, Connecticut. And we're going to bring her back in and the others for our senior champion ewe judging. That fall ewe lamb class we just completed, first place went to Rachel Gately, and that lamb weighed 143. We do have our candidates here for our senior champion ewe division. We're going to recognize the winners and runner-ups in this class out here. Our first place ewe group 1 went to Rachel Gately with a Texel. The runner-up in that class was a Kuykendall Monadale yearling ewe. In our group 2 yearling ewe class, likewise Rachel Gately placed first, and Kuykendall Monadale's the runner-up with their Monadale yearling ewe. And our senior ewe lamb class just completed was an entry from Rachel Gately.
Here in this senior champion drive, we got 5 females out here that I think represent the breed well. I think 5 females that can run with any of them in their breeds and be really, really competitive. Got a couple that hit me pretty hard in class, and I'll go out and congratulate your Grand Reserve. Give them another round of applause, please.
Rachel Gately with the senior champion ewe on her Class 2 winner. Kuykendall Monadale's with the reserve senior champion on their second place Group 2 yearling ewe. Those of you here on the bleachers that are following our show, we want to catch you up here with our Group 2 yearling ewe class. Our first place ewe was entry 4851 from Rachel Gately of Pine Knob Farms. She weighed 189. Second was Kuykendall Monadale's entry 4458, and she weighed 223. The third place was an entry from Brett Kessler, entry 5027, and she weighed 237. Our fourth place yearling ewe on the next page was bred by Rachel Gately with a Portland Prairie yearling ewe. Portland Prairie, sired by Campbell, trademark C12. The fifth place ewe was from Stacy Webster of Windham, Maine. Sixth place, Smith Sheep Farm of Windsor, Illinois. Seventh place honors also to Smith Sheep Farm. Eighth place was exhibited by Brett Kessler, entry 5028 of Indiana. Reading that class from top down, we're going to make a switch here on, or a correction, on our Group 2 class winners. The first place ewe from Rachel Gately was actually entry 4852 from Portland Prairie. It was her fourth place ewe was 4851, and we will correct that. So reading down from the top on that page is 5-3, and the 3 ewe weighed 237. 8-7-4, 2 with a weight of 232, and 6. And then on our next page is the class winner who weighed 189. In our pair of yearling ewe class, Rachel Gately placed first. Second place honors was an entry from Kuykendall Monadales. Third place honors went to Stacy and Bill Webster. Fourth place was shown by Smith Sheep Farm. Fifth was a pair from Merritt Family Monadales. And sixth was Clay Hill Ranch of Indiana. Our seventh place pair of yearling ewes were exhibited by Michaela Craffey of Massachusetts. And then again, we just had the one senior ewe lamb, and it was a Pine Knob Farm entry from Rachel Gately, who also won the senior champion, and Kuykendall Monadales with the reserve senior champion ewe.
Now they're a really super cool class of females here. Starting off the big old stout maid Mondale ewe. She's long-sided, really clean up through her front end. Got a lot of extension up through there. Moves about the ring free and really easy. The little Texel ewe coming in there, really thick, deep, massive little ewe. Just gives up a little bit of that stylish that the female that wins the class. Maybe a changer, maybe a notch off or coming off or out of her hip there, but a really nice balance made sheep. Come back here to a really long-sided female. Got a good set of feet and legs on her. If I could change her anyway, I'd like to maybe make her a little deeper on the side. But a really nice sheep. Around the class, or here down here in 4-hole, we got a really thick ewe lamb. She's deep. I'd like to maybe change her a little bit there behind the shoulder. When you put her in motion, she wants to open up a little on that chine. Round the class out with a real flashy ewe. Just gives up some meat and muscling down through her lower leg, and her top line is the sheep ahead of her. But a really nice class of ewe lambs. Give them all a round of applause as they exit the ring, please.
And our class is complete. Our intermediate ewe lamb class was won by Kuykendall Monadales on ring number 4460. The class winner out of the Miller's buck weighed 182 pounds. Pine Knob Farm placed second with ring 4855 with a Banjo daughter, and she weighed 133. In third place was Smith Sheep Farm of Illinois with Smith's 1902 out of Smith 1619, and she weighed 166. Our fourth place ewe lamb was from Rachel Gately, ring 4856. Fifth place honors 6496 was the ring number from Stacy and Bill Webster. Our sixth and seventh place honors were both daughters of Vincent, exhibited by Michaela Craffey. Reading that page from top down, for those of you keeping track, it is 3 with a weight of 166, 7, 1 weighing 182, 2 weighing 133, 5, 6, and 4.
Now they're really interesting class of sheep out here, this ewe lamb class. We're starting off with a really cool profiling sheep. Handles really nice down her top line. Got a really super long hip to her. She is deep and wide. Come back here in second, a ewe that falls right in there. Maybe gives up a little bit of that thickness as the sheep that wins the class. But really nice sheep coming off her hips. She's thick. All these females out here got a lot of rib shape to them and some depth of rib, and we need that. Whether they're into show ring or they're going to go into a commercial flock, we got to have them to where they're thick and they can handle themselves and got some volume to take care of, raise some babies. Are you here in 3-hole? Really, probably one of the nicer little profiling sheep in the class. Maybe just lightens up a little bit there coming out of her hip. As thickness as the 2 sheep that win the class, but a really nice design sheep. Come back here in the 4-hole, really deep-sided, long-bodied sheep. Just kind of giving up a little of that thickness down her top line is the 3 ahead of her. We could thicken her. We could get her moved on up. We got to round the class out here in 5. A little sheep, you could show her in the wool, or you could peel the wool off of her and show her slicked, and I think she could hold her own really well. Maybe just giving up a little of that rib shape as the female's ahead of her. But really nice class of ewes from top to bottom. Give them a round of applause.
You may start lining up your pairs of ewe lambs at this time. Pairs of ewe lambs will be followed by our junior champion ewe judging. Good job, Eric Bruns. But he can only do that once. She snuck away again. Somebody's going to have to tell that young man about the Big E rule and loose sheep. I know the Websters know. There is a rule in the Big E program book. It's in fine print on one of the pages, though, that states unequivocally that if you have an animal get loose from you, you have to buy the exhibitor's ice cream when the show is over. So it's in the book. So if you want to make sure you follow along the rules, it's a rule breaker. Hey, Tom Collier supplied that too. It's been done, and that rule's been followed in the past. Here in our junior pair of ewe lamb class, the first place ewe lamb was entry number 4462 from Kuykendall Monadales of Wisconsin, and that lamb weighed 148. Our second place ewe lamb and third place honors went to Stacy Webster, ring number 6497 and 6499. The second place lamb weighed 122, third weighed 120. In fourth place was Clay Hill Ranch of LaPorte, Indiana, ring number 5030. Fifth place also to Clay Hill Ranch with entry 5031. Our sixth place ewe lamb was Smith Sheep Farm of Windsor, Illinois on entry 4476. Seventh place to Clay Hill Ranch, entry 5029. And our eighth place lamb was shown by Stacy Webster's 6498. Ninth and 10th place were entries from Leslie Merritt of Massachusetts with 5065 and 5066, which were twins to each other. Following along in the book, those of you that are recording the placings by page, it is 7-2 with a weight of 122, 3 weighing 120, 5, 4, 6, and 8. And on the next page was 1 with a weight of 148, 9, and 10. In that pair of ewe lamb class, first place went to Kuykendall Monadels, second to Rachel Gately, third place to Stacy Webster, fourth Brett Kessler, fifth Smith Sheep Farm, Merritt Family was sixth, and Michaela Craffey was seventh. And that will read down on the page 1, 5, 7, 6, 3, 4, and 2. Competing for our junior champion ewe honors out here, recognizing our class-winning intermediate ewe lamb, was from the Kuykendall Monadel flock of Wisconsin. Runner-up was an entry from Rachel Gately of Summers, Connecticut. Our junior ewe lamb class winner also was from the Kuykendall Monadels, and the runner-up from Stacy Webster.
Here in this junior champion ewe drive, we got 4 really cool females out here, good-footed, good-boned, nice in their breed character type. I'm going to go out and congratulate your grand and reserve.
Kuykendall Monadels with our junior champion ewe, and Stacy and Billy Webster with the reserve junior champion ewe on their North Country Cheviot. We're now ready to pick our open show grand and reserve grand champion ewes. The 4 animals that will be competing out here for our grand champion ewe overall, we have the senior champion ewe, was exhibited by Pine Knob Farms, Rachel Gately. The reserve senior champion ewe was exhibited by and bred by Kuykendall Monadels. Our junior champion ewe was a Kuykendall Monadel entry, and Stacy and Billy Webster with the reserve junior champion ewe.
these AOB shows can get kind of interesting at times, and this one has been very, very tough. The quality is ran very deep through the top end, clear to the bottom. Y'all brought a really nice set of sheep out here today. We talked them in class. We're not going to harp on them. I'm going to go out and congratulate your Grand and Reserve. Put your hands together one more time for these.
Our Grand Champion ewe goes to Rachel Gately, and Reserve Grand Champion to the Kuykendall family of Wisconsin. Our best-headed Monterdale ewe goes to the Kuykendall family. And thank you, Leslie Merritt, your family, on behalf. Let's give them a nice round of applause, both the winner and the contributor to this award. Our winner was the Reserve Champion, Monterdale ewe from the Kuykendalls. Next up will be the judging of our exhibitors flock. And in this competition, all 5 animals must be owned by the same individual. A ram any age, 2 yearling ewes, and 2 ewe lambs from any of the classes previously shown. In our exhibitor's flock, once again, there's a ram any age that was shown previously, 2 yearling ewes and 2 ewe lambs of any age. All 5 of these are owned by the same exhibitor. The following class, our next class, will be what we call our breeder's flock, and those are all bred and owned. So there may be some animals that will be changed, and we'll wait to exchange them until our staff, our clerking staff, has had a chance to go through and record all the placings on all the sheep here in this group. So we'll ask you to hold our placings till you're given clearance, and then if you have any changes to make at that time, you may do so. Okay, if we have any switches, at this time we'll let our staff know. Our placings will remain the same as in the exhibitor's flock and our breeder's flock, with first place honors going with our class winning exhibitors and breeders flock going to Rachel Gately. Second place was Kuykendall Monadales of Illinois. Third place to Stacy Webster. Fourth to Brett Kessler. Fifth place honors to Annie Smith. Sixth place to Leslie Merritt. And our final group was Michaela Craffey. Ducky, get some sleep. Here in our Get a Sire competition, our first place group was bred by Kuykendall Monadales of Wisconsin. Our second place group went to Rachel Gately of Connecticut. Third place honors were won by Stacy Webster from Maine. In fourth place, Brett Kessler of Indiana. Fifth place to Smith Sheep Farm of Illinois. Sixth to Merritt Family Monadales from Massachusetts. And rounding out the class, Michaela Craffey, also from Massachusetts. Those of you with champions and reserves, we'd like to get those pictures while you're right here by the ringside. Your grand and reserve grand champions, and the Big E website will be putting them up here later on this week. And any other pictures that you would like to have taken. All right, at this time, our Premier Exhibitor and Breeder Awards are going to be announced. And for the Premier Exhibitor Award, we want to recognize Stacy and Billy Webster for a great job. Let's give them a nice round of applause. The Webster family. And to Rachel Gately, who won the Premier Breeder Award here at the Big E. Congratulations, Rachel, for a job well done, and Stacy and Billy.